Hi guys. All right, so today we're going to be looking at, what do you think? That's right, we're going to be looking at themes. So we're going to be supporting the theme of a Christmas story. So we are going to go through and think about what theme is. We're going to answer some questions to help us figure that out. You're then going to do that with a really cute story. It's one of my favorites. Then you're going to be able to watch me as I determine the theme based on those questions that I answered. And you're going to be able to do the same about the story that you read. And then we're going to reflect. So remember, the theme is the main message, lesson, or moral of the story, right? It can be told straight in the text, or sometimes you might have to use text clues to help you figure it out, okay? And so the theme can be stated. Fables and myths sometimes tell you at the end, like I just said. So we're going to think to ourselves, what is the author trying to teach me? Some examples are like, be kind, friends are important, don't give up. Okay, those are some examples of themes. There are lots and lots of lessons that we can learn from stories. So these are some questions that we can use to help us figure out the answers. So like, what happens to the characters? That's kind of like, what's the problem in the story? We can also ask, like, how do the characters react to those problems? What do they do because of these problems? What do the characters learn? And how do the characters grow or change? So we're not going to answer all of these questions today because that would be a lot. We're going to really think about this, what happens to the characters, and then what do the characters learn and how do they grow or change? Okay, that's what we're going to be looking. So we're going to be using this problem and solution, stop, think, and react strategy to help us. We're going to think, what's that problem? How do the characters react to the problem? What decisions do they make? Like, what is the solution that they come up with to solve the problem? At the end, we should be able to come up with, how do the characters grow and change? And that should help me come up with the theme. So today we're going to use the race strategy to help us prove our thinking. So here are the 3 questions I'm going to answer, and you will answer as well. It says, what is the main problem? What is the solution to the problem? And how does the pine tree grow and change from the beginning of the story to the end of the story? So the pine tree here is going to be our character. So this says, 3 trees shivered in the cold moonshine, a date palm, an olive, and a dark green pine. They whispered together, saw a light in the sky, paused, secrets forgotten, heard a new baby's cry. They stood in the yard near the child's manger bed. What can we give him? The gentle pine said. The olive gave oil to soothe his small feet. The palm promised dates, all sticky and sweet. But what about me? The poor pine tree cried. I can't think of a thing. I've tried and I've tried. Hearing her cries, all the stars tumbled down to light up her branches like a bright golden crown. Then the pine tree stood tall so the baby could see on that first Christmas day, his first Christmas tree. So what is the problem in this story? Remember, I'm going to use the race strategy to help me. So I'm going to restate the question. So what is the problem? So I need to say the problem in the story is, and it seems like the big problem is that this pine tree doesn't know what to give. So that's how I write that here. The problem is the pine tree didn't feel she had a gift to give. In the text it says, I can't think of a thing, I've tried. This means the pine tree had trouble feeling like he was as good as the other. And actually, it's supposed to be she. As we were reading, it says, all the stars chimed on her branches. All right, so what happens because of this problem that the pine tree doesn't feel like she has a good gift like the olive tree and the date tree, the palm tree? So what happens? Well, over here it says the stars help decorate the tree. So that's right here. The solution is the stars come down and shone on the pine tree. In the text it says, the pine tree stood tall so the baby could see. This means the pine tree was now proud of herself to have a gift for the baby that was special like the others. So how does the pine tree grow and change? Well, the pine tree at the beginning of the story is sad about not having a gift, but by the end of the story, she was proud. In the text it says, the tall pine stood proud so the baby could see. This means that the pine tree now likes her gift for the baby. So I have explained my thinking. So I found something from the text, and then I kind of explained in my own words what that means. Okay, so make sure you have your answer, and then you're explaining words from the text. Maybe you don't write it in 3 complete sentences like this, but try to have it in there somehow. So now you're going to go ahead and you are going to watch this video. Okay, if you click this link, it will take you to the video, and then you're going to answer some questions about the video. Okay, and you're going to figure out what's the problem in the story, what's the solution, and how does the character grow and change. Okay, so now that you've answered questions, right, I'm thinking about the characters growing and changing, and that can help me come up with a theme. So when we think back to my story, I'm thinking, well, what does the pine tree learn? Well, the theme is a story that the best gifts are ones given from the heart, right? The text said, they'll light up her branches like a bright golden crown. This means the tree didn't have to do anything but be herself. And that was a gift in itself. So just be you, and that's a gift, right? That you don't have to have something big and elaborate to be a special gift. Okay, you can just do something special as long as it's from the heart. Okay, then it's going to be important. So that's what I've learned from this story. And I think that's what the pine tree learned, that it doesn't have to be just like everybody else's gift. It can be unique. So now you're going to think back to A Wish to Be a Christmas Tree, this story right here that you were listening to. I think, what is the theme of this story? Use your questions that you answered earlier to help you come up with the theme. Don't forget to use the RACE strategy to prove your thinking. And then, as always, reflect on your learning. Thanks, guys.